Fly, right? This is shit you see all the time. And let me just give a big disclaimer. This shit is so fucking enabled by netplay. Like, it's incredibly delay-oriented, slash rollback-oriented. Honestly, I can't really give any feedback on dealing with that. This strategy of just, like, super jump, follow Tien, and press shit is, like, it's really, really enabled by netplay. So that's kind of just a disclaimer, because a lot of the things I'm about to say may not even apply if you can't, like, play against Tien in regularly good connections. However, I just got back from playing offline in New York with Black Atlas, Icebound, Zale, Goth Oppression, Rotorix, Dem, and Rowan. So it was a pretty big meetup. Anyway, I really feel like I've been putting this off because it's super important. Here's what I usually see, right? Is people will do this pattern. They'll, like, do this as their layer 1 to try to, like, make it really ambiguous what side the JC is going to be on. And the other thing they'll do, the second layer is, like, they'll fly for a bit and then try to make it more ambiguous, right? And the problem that I see is no one tries to move when this happens. Like, normally, like, if I set Tien, like, when I see Tien do this, I just see people, like, whiff an anti-air and try to get punished. If you play Oleander, that's a viable option because their 6-8 reach is really high. But every other character in the game, you actually can disengage from this situation a lot. So, like, let's say I'm gonna set this dummy to do, like, this movement pattern, right? Here's how you deal with this. You don't deal with this by trying to mash something under it. You don't deal with this by trying to anti-air it. You deal with this with Super Jump Fly by moving. If you play a character with a run, like Arizona or Paprika, there is almost no scenario where you can't run from this. And maybe you react super late, like, right? Like, if you start later and you play a character with a run, all you gotta do is just run forward, and then tap crouch really quick, and then hold that direction. Now, the reason why this is important is because even if you don't fully escape and disengage from this situation, you are still manipulating the side that Tien is on when she tries to cross you up. A lot of people don't deal with this. Like, it's actually, this is very fundamental counterplay, for lack of a better term. And I see a lot of people just kind of, like, hang themselves to this situation, but the reality is that this is not a sustainable strategy. I think part of why this has emerged as such a prominent way to play Tien is because of basically netplay stuff, like I talked about earlier. Because this kind of thing is, like, incredibly hard to deal with on netplay. Like, that's just the reality of it. However, that's for if you have a character with a run, right? So let me pick a character who has kind of a shitty dash, like Palm. Then... Oh, wait, I picked the wrong character. Go back. There we go. I'm gonna re-record this. Yeah. Okay. Then, what you have to do instead is you can kind of just actually do the same thing. You can literally just mash forward dash. And again, even if you don't end up getting away, at least you choose the side that you're blocking on. The lengths that the Tien has to go to in order to change the side that they're on when you are the one in control of the position is incredibly important. And also, like, if you're really brolic, I can't do it on this side, actually. I'm not very good at Palm's wave dash. But, like, if you're really brolic, you can try just to wave dash under it. I personally don't really think it's necessary. With some characters like Oleander, there is a way you can move under it. So basically, when you see Tiens do this shit, do not engage them. If you know that you can run under them because the side's ambiguous, you can, like, basically control the side better than they can a lot of the time. And if you're really far away, I would just wait. But there's another element of this, right? Tien's air options. Tien has Fly, which lasts for about 50 frames, not in level 2. And Air Dash. The important thing to note is that Tien is realistically only going to Air Dash forward. Not that Air Dash back is bad, but you can see how little distance that she moves when she does Air Dash. So they can't really use that to make the side as ambiguous as they can if they do forward dash. But if they're doing this, like, this is like the netplay Tien special. Like, just go up and fly and, like, try to out-scramble you. And for the most part, it's like, if I mistime something or if I don't know what side I'm on, it actually works. But if I pick Disengage, see ya. Like, even if she air dashes in after that, I'm just gonna block it because I am in control of what side I'm on. As for V-Dash, which I have no idea, I like, kind of blown away that this is how people have chosen to use the tool. Block it. And then you can honestly run the same thing. You just have to know which air options she has or has not used before V-Dash, so that's really important to check. And in fact, in general, when you're fighting Tien, if they're doing this a lot, just be mindful of what air options they are using or have not used. BB players do this all the time with double jumps, air dashes. Izzy always 20,000 ways to stall her air in the momentum. Subaki's 20,000 ways to stall herself in the momentum. You have to track those things. And next time you're fighting a Tien who plays like that, when they jump, I just want you to just focus on counting the air options. Even if it doesn't like actually work out for you, even if you lose the interaction after, just practice mentally tracking that in your head, because this skill is going to get you, or not having the skill developed is going to get you killed. That's the long and short of it. I honestly, I think that's really all I have to say. The only exception is if you play Oleander, which I think, I don't know if Cam is lurking in my stream, but like, I suspect the reason why Oleander got 6A is actually because she's one of the few characters who like can't really dash under this super easily and get out, so they gave her this like Pillar of Faith, which you can combo from like anywhere. So she's kind of the exception to the rule. I think if you're really brawlic at wave dashing, you might actually be able to run under her. I've never tried it. I don't think Amron's ever tried it. But yeah, and this kind of goes to the other topic I want to talk about while I'm here. Disengaging. Today, I fought someone who engaged in every possible situation, right? Like, basically, they were RPSing on every single wake-up. They were pretty much always trying to do 50-50s in every string, and the way that I answered that was basically by just doing nothing, right? Because that's kind of just the reality of how people are playing this game at the moment, especially after push block. Like, Velvets love to do this. Like, they'll do, after a push block, I'm not actually sure the easiest way to set this up. I probably should have researched that beforehand. Recording slot 1. DP. Cool. My inputs are really sloppy. Reversal slot 2. Jab. There we go. This is like the best, like the favorite way for Velvets to RPS you is after a push block. I need to set you to block. What am I doing? They'll just either do this, they'll either jab you, or they'll DP. Like, and what I have found is that this strategy, while it's good to represent these options, I can disengage from them by, like, existing. I don't really know how else to put it, honestly. Like, if I know you're gonna commit after push block, there's almost no reason for me to do anything, because, like, I can probably just respond to both options, or like wait it out. And I mean, especially if you're playing Velvet and you're backed into the corner, the safest thing I can do is disengage, because even though I'm not necessarily directly punishing what you're doing here, I'm getting information about how you want to play defense. I can figure out what your patterns are, how you like to think, what pressures you, what doesn't, etc. Kind of off topic from Superjump Fly, but I really want to talk about this because I think a lot of people's response in this game is like, oh, I see them jumping at me, so whenever they jump, I'm going to press 6A, right? But sometimes it's good to just let people do stuff and not engage too hard. And I will tell you from personal experience that if you want to start placing well in this game, one of the best things you can develop is just the art of disengaging from things and not challenging everything every time. Not everything has to be an RPS situation. There are some scenarios in the game where you kind of have to deal with that. But a really good example is like if you have Arizona in the corner with resources, you know, two bars and then 3 stacks of magic, whatever. What a lot of strong players will do is like they'll do their block string and then they'll just stop and block to like rotate in blocks, and this is kind of their way of disengaging and saying, okay, I don't know what you're gonna do, but I think you're gonna do something, and then whether or not you do something when I try to rotate these things in is where I'll decide when I want to engage. So that's just kind of a general, more fundamental lesson, is you don't have to answer everything immediately. Don't put pressure on yourself to answer a scenario. It's okay to keep blocking because TFH gives you so many ways to like disengage and control the defensive tempo and scout your opponent before you actually commit to something. This is so important, and I think it's a critical skill that honestly really separates the top players from other players in the game. And yeah, Maida will concur, Ambron will absolutely concur. Like, it's that exact thing which, in my opinion, makes or breaks players at the moment. Because, like, ultimately, it's not that you shouldn't take risks, but you can scout for the best way to commit against your opponent without actually committing yourself, which is really valuable. Okay, that's my whole rant. It's really connected to Superjump, because Superjump Fly being something that people struggle with tells me that this is something that people don't really understand to the fullest. And actually, I've had problems with Superjump Fly in this game because I hadn't really practiced disengaging in TFH. There's actually a set where you can see where I think I fought Mentos, and like he was actually kind of killing me with these Superjump Fly layers because I felt pressured to commit. And then literally as soon as I stopped committing, it just like stopped working. So there you go. I'm gonna hit the stop record button.